Hello viewers and welcome to another episode of the Running Mech, a Lancer battle report series where I put the players against the NPC. In this episode, let's talk about recon. Before I talk about today's session, I would like to thank Akario, SGT Breyer, Anonsense, and Robert for joining in. So, recon is a type of sit rep where the players have to get to 4 different locations, find out which one is the true objective, and then kick the other side off it. I made a slight modification in the session. The players still have to find a functioning fire suppression system, and then keep it from being destroyed to save the city, or at least this section of it. Also, this map is goddamn packed with buildings filled with civilians. The players are advised to keep every single small building intact through the end of the session. I was also using the session to see if how a cramped and heavily urbanized map like this would work, since while it provides a lot of cover, it might also restrict some mobility and line of sight targeting to players that didn't expect it. Same limit rules are established like in the previous few sessions for single session playthrough. I have also pushed the license level to 6 after inviting some of my veteran players into the session. Anyway, let's quickly start off round 1 by rolling which of the recon objectives is the true objective. Keep in mind none of the players could see the number. And that's our number. The enemy were also already on field right as the players showed up, 4 Ronin grunts, 1 elite support, and yes, an ultra berserker, because fuck everything. I also obtained this special mini from Retrograde Mini Chop Shop. It definitely fits what I was looking for. Reflections of Violence quickly threw a blink mine right in the enemy group, then first gated. Okay, I'm skipping this to control their move next turn. This will become important as you will soon see. Then Reflections went fuck it and overcharged for a hot 7 heat, popping the very first core power for Death Cloud. Now everyone on the enemy side need to watch their step, especially the grunts. Death Cloud is also only lethal to hostile, so the civilians are totally fine in their house. They just gonna send a cleaning bill to the team afterward. Has Unstoppable, which mean it's immune to any form of involuntary movements, every single one, including knockback and prone, but due to the exact wording of Osiris being able to control the standard move of the target, this actually goes around the trait, making I Am the Storm to approach the mine that exploded, and did nothing, because I Am the Storm is immune to involuntary movements, including teleport. It still got forced to move back up though. Then I Am the Storm boosted towards the team, taking damage from Death Cloud, which triggers aggression to attack anyone nearby except there's no one around, and then charged right at Irreverent Acts of Mercy, critting with the following chain axe attack, shredding them for massive damage. Then failed to ram them down. Irreverent Acts of Mercy then stabilized to patch up their health, purge the shredded condition, received a leadership dice from Reflections, then have Uncle fired a mortar at the Wild Ronins, which pushed them away from. You guys are gonna hear this like a lot in this episode with Siege Specialist 2 and also wiping out one of the Ronin, who tried to reflect the mortar shell back. Elite Wild Support moved down, taking damage from Death Cloud, then locked onto Mercy. Reflections locked onto I Am the Storm with Lesson of Held image just before Guinevere invaded it and slashed at it with Troll Stance Terashima, dealing a titanic hit on it with a big crit. And this is where mistake starts happening, because I forgot that I gave Storm Superhot, which triggers on melee attack. Honestly, I really should have just wrote a physical note somewhere to remember all the shits that an Ultra can do. However, Guinevere is not done yet as they started Jaeger Kuz 2, engaging in one hell of an anime battle with the Storm, and the Storm lost. I would have continued, if not for the fact that just restarting the contested check will structure I Am the Storm. Elite Wild Support then quickly saved Storm's ass by throwing them a latch drone that can quickly patch them up for 8 health. This is why you want to kill the designated medic fast. They then climbed up a building for a vantage point. Here's an advice: don't put the recon objective right in front of the player's deployment zone. With all players' turn done, All the Ronin moved up with only standard move to not instantly die. One of the Ronin locked on and managed to invade Guinevere to impair them. Then, with health boost from Latch Drone, missed a slash at Guinevere. Then just set both them and Mercy on fire with Hellfire Projector, along with the building behind them, but Guinevere was able to deflect the flame with a Blade Master dice, having the damage, and proving that they are the most anime out of the team. Storm then tried to ram Guinevere but missed yet again. Round 1 ended, and round 2 began with Reflections moving down on top of another fire suppression station to fire up the gravity gun with a big save target of 15 to rip the Latch Drone off Storm. I allow this because this sounds like a fun way to get rid of the drone. And then somehow everything except the Ronin within the gun's blast radius passed the save roll. Reflection then threw a warp grenade, with everything passing the roll again. I literally got 420 in these save rolls in a row. What the fuck just happened? Then Reflection just overcharged again because fuck it, impairing themselves in the process, and second gated Storm, impairing and slowing it down, then threw a leadership dice at Guinevere to kill Storm. A wild Ronin grunt then moved towards Trick of the Light to slash at them, which triggers Singularity Motivator, allowing Trick to teleport away from the Ronin, avoiding their second strike entirely, but the Ronin just locked onto them instead. Reflection locked onto Storm yet again just before Mercy moved between the elite wild support and Storm, punched the Latch Drone, fired Uncle Mortar at Storm, which missed, knocking the drone off with Siege Specialist 2, which basically killed it because it can't exactly reattach back to Storm. Mercy then used a knife attack to lunge at elite wild support, and with the support and Storm right in the threat of their charged blade and kinetic hammer, both of them got slashed and smashed the hell by Mercy thanks to Executioner, who now has a hard cover besides them thanks to Destructive Swing. Also forgot about Superhot again. Storm was even structured, destroying the Hellfire Projector, but since it's an Ultra, it will gain it back in no time. However, since Storm took damage as a Berserker and Guinevere happened to be right besides it. Yeah, there's only so much resistance to kinetic damage could do when you are shredded. Also forgot to roll the deadly trait. I really am not used to the sheer amount of shit an Ultra has apparently. Mercy then cleared off the burn with an engineering check. Then slashed at Guinevere again, structuring them, which actually stunned them. This would have been worse if I remember deadly trait again. Storm then rammed and grappled Guinevere to keep them there, except this is exactly what Guinevere wanted to prevent Superhot from being triggered now that the team knew this thing has it. Guinevere just took the next turn to clear the stun, then another wild Ronin moved up to attack Trick, slashed the crap out of them and invaded to impair them. In the same turn, Trick also received another leadership dice from Reflection to stay alive. Trick of the Light then activated Lucifer, reached Danger Zone to activate Plasma Sheath, overclocked to activate Limit Break, and hid to slowly approach I Am the Storm, and just slashed them with a single skirmish for 2 energy damage and 14 burn. This is why Tokugawa is freaking ridiculous. And with Infiltrator 3, Trick broke out of hidden status, flash bombed at Storm to blind them, and then ran away, overheating in the process to get exposed again. Then they overcharged for a single heat cost to fade Cloak away to safety. This would have been incredibly amazing, if not for the fact that Storm doesn't suffer any conditions or statuses during the attack, so the burn get halved, and the elite wild support just sprayed it down with whitewash to clear the burn before locking onto Guinevere. With all the players' turns done, the wild support had its turn again by launching a restock drone to repair Storm, if it can get to it first. Storm then took its turn to stabilize to clear all the heat. Then as it moved to take the restock drone, it triggered Overwatch attack from Mercy, who smashed the shit out of them, structuring them again, which destroyed the Superhot system, and by the time it reached the restock drone, it only managed to heal for 1 health, which is practically useless as the drone is 1 use and done. Round 2 ended, and round 3 began with Reflection locking onto Storm yet again before Guinevere invaded and struck it with another massive hit from Troll Stance Terashima, but it wasn't enough. Which is why Guinevere overcharged, being exposed from overheating, and finally slashing I Am the Storm in half like a goddamn anime. Except this would also trigger another aggression attack from Storm because it's not a reaction. Guinevere would have been at an even worse spot if I actually remember that. The elite wild support, seeing as the mission is now impossible, ran the fuck away, taking some death cloud damage in the process. Reflection popped a warp grenade to teleport themselves towards the support, then third-gated the support, stunning them, then overcharged again because fuck it, exposing themselves, then moved up to fire stub cannons at the support, structuring it, which impaired it. At this point 3 of the players are now exposed. One of the wild Ronin grunt then tried to complete the objective anyway by literally slashing at the fire suppression system to keep the town burning. Mercy was having none of that, however, as they commanded Uncle to fire the mortar at the Ronin grunt, which missed again, but then they moved towards the Ronin by lunging at one with a knife, which missed again, then finished it off with charged blade, before finally punching the crap out of the other one with their remaining movement. Zheng is really a lot faster than it appears. Elite Wild support cleared the stun by passing a turn. It's basically going to fucking die. With another lock-on at the support from Reflections, Trick moved up, deactivated Fade Cloak, then slashed at the support with a torch followed by a fold knife with Hunter 3, allowing Trick to teleport behind the support, who then overcharged again because this is what Tokugawa do, and slashed at the support with even more fold knives. The support is now suffering from 9 burn and is at the verge of total annihilation. And unfortunately, so is Tokugawa, who is now having meltdown in 5 turns if they don't pass the engineering check with a full action. So basically, more than enough time for Tokugawa to do more self-destructive damage to itself. Round 3 ended, and round 4 was basically just the players dabbing on the Elite Wild support at this point. Reflections 4th gated the support to make it their ally, moved up, teleport themselves with another warp grenade, overcharged again like the overcharge addict they are, and piled a whole bunch of blink mines in front of the support, which was not possible because they completely ran out of blink charges already. The support moved an inch and got sent 9 ways through the blink and far away from its original spot, and promptly died from the death cloud just before it completely melted down from the burn. The session is now completed. Now let's talk about what just happened. First thing first, I think this fight has demonstrated how good a support NPC could be in backing up other NPC, especially an Ultra in a fight. So obviously you should absolutely murder it first. Seriously, this fight could have gone a lot worse with an unstoppable Ultra Berserker boss in a tight corner. The only reason why the team survived is with sheer brute force, my constant forgetfulness, getting the objective right in one try, and the fact that they are all overcharge addict. Like seriously, stop being on fire already. Look at this, they are basically running on fume. I did mention to them that this is the final phase of a mission, but they are burning through everything. Also, I probably should not have placed the enemy deployment zone that close to the center of the map either. Berserker has more mobility than they appear to be, and that ended up quickly dictating where the battle will be having for majority of the session. My suggestion would be to put them right in the crater instead, to at least give the player some chance for ranged firepower, lay down controller shenanigans, or move elsewhere on the map. I really wanted to see Jägerkust 1 in action. And, once again, don't put recon objective right besides any of the deployment zones. Really though, Storm being a berserker with unstoppable trait shuts down a lot of the player capability in countering it. Almost none of the players' movement shenanigans work on it, and it forces the players to deal with it head on, something Berserker is very good at. Raw damage from having 2 of the players being strikers with 1 a striker masquerading as support are basically needed to annihilate Storm in 2 rounds and a half. Guinevere would have been perfect to deal with Storm due to its chain axe dealing kinetic damage, but it kept on critting and shredding them. However, Guinevere still managed to hold onto the Ultra and kept tanking the damage. Troll Stance Terashima is a surprisingly lethal weapon, especially with all the bonus damage stack, and Jägerkust 2. Irreverent Axe of Mercy has the highest kill count once again, wiping out the Ronin grunts who are basically helpless after Reflections deployed Death Cloud all over the battlefield with Zheng's hidden mobility and fists, and dealt a ton of damage to both the Elite Wild support and Storm itself. The Uncle Mortar might have missed a lot, but utility from siege specialists are surprisingly useful in enhancing mobility and attack avoidance. Trick of the Light might have been occupied at round 1, but they quickly showed why Tokugawa is positively ridiculous, as with just 1 attack, Storm nearly melted down from all the burns if not for its resistance and a support happened to be nearby. The support later also suffered the same fate, with far less luck. And while Reflections couldn't fully use grenades and mines effectively like their frame is supposed to do, the fact that they managed to go full gate with Osiris and provided a ton of necessary support via held image lock-on and leadership dices are not to be forgotten. Those control shenanigans, extra accuracy, and damage dices are tremendously helpful. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy this episode as much as I did making it, and I will see you all next time. Hello there, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell button. If you really want to support my channel, you could visit my Patreon page, or buy me some coffee, links in the description. Anyway, have a nice day.